Good morning. Hello. Let's make sure the volume is off on this one before I. Good morning. See? No, it was already muted and I just unmuted it. Hey guys, welcome. Hey Nicole, you made it. Thank you guys. If you'll do me a favor and share the live. I think TikTok takes mindfulness as very nefarious content. I'm told that it's very nefarious. So if you would do me a favor and share, because TikTok does not, which is fine. We're also on YouTube too. So, okay. Oh, let me expand the comments here so I can see you guys. All right. Good morning. Good morning. Sweet, blessed morning, or afternoon, as it may be for you. For those of you new here, hello. My name is Reverend Deborah. I am a movement facilitator, movement in breath, body, and being, and I am your ever-loving shenanigan shaman and the owner of movewithchange.com, where we are building an online mindfulness community called the Kaya Sangha. C-A-Y-A. Kaya stands for Come As You Are. Because when we are doing this work, when we are rediscovering ourselves, uncovering ourselves, doing this internal excavation, learning to love ourselves and accept ourselves for who we are so that we can truly resonate at our most authentic frequency, then you know that it gets messy. You know that it gets a little chaotic. You know that it sometimes gets so stinking silly. You don't know where to put that energy. But the Kaya Sangha is that place where we show up with curiosity and willingness, where we practice radical inclusion and revolutionary kindness. Because we recognize that when we come together and seek first to understand and to grow together and to learn from each other and honor that your perspective is just as valid as mine. It's just a different side of the facet, a different facet of the globe, right? So I have been up all morning long. So excited about this workshop I'm finally going to get to put out for sale today. Yay! This, I do have to finish up a couple of things for the workshop, but it is a conscious connection workshop, basically teaching a tantric partner breathing practice. I've been wanting to put this on for a while. I'm just finishing up today. It will go on sale. For those of you who are subscribers here on TikTok, you will receive a direct message with a link to it and a discount code. Hey, Dee, good morning. So as a subscriber, you'll get a discount to that workshop. For everybody else, that will go on sale as normal. And I will let those details out as soon as I finish. I don't like to sell things that are not finished, so you guys have to wait for me to finish all the pieces of this workshop before I'm going to put it out. Yeah. Everybody, yeah. I had folks saying pre-sale, and I'm like, yeah, but anyway. So this week, what's happening this week? Valentine's Day. We've got Valentine's Day happening this week. If you celebrate it. If not, We have a week that invites us to practice self-love, love for self and love for other. That invites us to show up for ourselves in a sweet, accepting, loving way this week. So I hope you use that energy to, in whatever way that it works for you, that you feel supported and soothed by it. It's kind of my hope for everybody this week, is just kind of that soothing, sweet feeling of being loved, whether you receive that from yourself or someone else. I hope that comes your way. So our mudra for this week is called the Tilaka mudra. Now, again, my Sanskrit is not perfect, so feel free to correct me or give me a resource to pronounce it better. But the resource I have found is Kilaka mudra, Kilaka. This mudra is the mudra for union, but the word Kilaka translates to bond. So this mudra can be used to represent the union of the divine masculine and the divine feminine. It tonifies the water element in the body. It's really helpful, beneficial to the bladder, to the kidneys, and the reproductive organs. So this also fosters a sense of emotional safety and comfort around intimacy. So if it's done like so, okay? Bring your pointer and your thumb together. Keep your other fingers extended, kind of nice, fan them out a little bit, right? And then bring your hands, cross your wrists, and bring your hands back to back as close as you can. And touch your pinky fingers, the pads of your pinky fingers together. You want to keep your pinky fingers facing upright as much as possible. I really love this mudra because of how much attention it requires to keep this mudra intentional, right? Remember that we hold our mudras with intention, not with tension. And we use no more than the weight of a nickel for pressure. So again, we're going to start from the beginning here. Bring your pointer and your thumb together. No more than the weight of a nickel with that connection. Cross those, fan out those fingers, cross your wrists, and bring the tips of your pinkies to just touch. Again, no more than the weight of a nickel. So then we hold this mudra right here at the heart. And it's recommended to hold mudras for at least 5 minutes to get the full effect. You may notice when you bring this mudra up to your heart that you already start to feel that duality coming into union within you. This is a really powerful mudra. And again, is one that's really useful for this week, especially since many of us are going to be engaging in increased levels of intimacy, again, either with a partner or with yourself. Both are equally valid, right? And important. So we always sit with our mudra in a meditation. And today we're going to just do a nice, simple meditation, mostly to notice the energy of this mudra. So if it is available to you, I do recommend sitting down for this just because we're going to do some awareness shifting. If you are walking, you can still do this as well. You can still follow along. Feel free to just listen in if meditation and mudras are not available to you just yet or at the moment. I suppose you could also do this one lying down. I don't see any contradiction to that, except that it might just be a little bit more pressure on the wrists. So suggested to be ideally seated upright. And once you found yourself a nice, cozy position, I invite you to close your eyes and we will begin our meditation with 3 deep breaths. Note that this will be a short meditation, again, less than 10 minutes. So if you've got a few moments to practice some self-care with me, I invite you to join us by closing the eyes and Inhaling the breath through the nose, through the lungs, and into the belly. And sigh it out. Inhale again, lifting the heart and elongating the spine. And let it go. Once more, inhaling to expand the rib cage in all directions, front, sides, and back. Hold for a moment. And release. Now I invite you to seal the lips and just follow the breath, allowing the breath to anchor you into this practice. Inhaling, following the breath all the way to the top. Exhaling, following the breath all the way to the bottom. Take a few moments here, several breaths, to find a comfortable, slow, steady rhythm of breath. In this moment, there is nothing else beyond the breath, beyond this practice. Remember that meditation is a personal practice. The more you sit with it, the more it will resonate within you. And the most important parts of meditation are our intention and our attention. Our intention in this moment is simply to follow the breath. And we bring our attention gently, lovingly back to that practice each time we notice it has wandered off. Allowing all those distractions to fall away. Allowing each exhale to release all tension from the body. We rest our attention gently on the breath, on the practice, and we release all tension in the body, in the mind. And as you follow the breath, I invite you to notice the way that your heart rises and falls on your breath. Still listening for the inhale and the exhale. Noticing the soft, gentle dance. The expanding rib cage. The softening lungs. Take a couple more breaths here. Experiencing the rise and fall of your heart on the breath. Now shift your attention outward towards your mudra. And I invite you to pick any point on the mudra and focus your attention there. It can be where your pinky fingers touch. It can be the tips of the extended fingers, the points where your pointer and thumb touch, the center of your palm. Whatever part of this mudra, even the connection of your wrist, whatever part of this mudra calls your attention, I invite you to rest it there gently and notice as you inhale and exhale how this mudra also rises and falls with the breath. Gently riding the waves of your inhale and exhale. Take a few moments here, resting your awareness on a point in the mudra, allowing it to rise and fall with your heart, with your breath. We easily perceive the breath as two separate parts, the inhale and the exhale. But it is the union of these two parts that gives breath to life. We are a vessel for the union of duality, as above and below come together in our hearts, as our inner and outer worlds align. Without that union, we would not have life. Without the coming together of duality, of light and dark, masculine, feminine, doing and being, the infinite dance. As you continue to breathe, bring your awareness to a different point on the mudra. And move your awareness to a different point on the mudra. Once more, move your awareness to a different point on the mudra. And bring your awareness back into your heart space. Place where that union of breath, of inhale and exhale becomes life. Translates, transmutes, transforms into creation. Note in this moment that within you is all the force of creation, all the power and presence of creation. Carry that knowing with you this week as we go about creating our realities moment by moment by moment. I invite you to stay here as long as you would like, returning to any part of the practice that you would like. When you feel complete, I invite you to bring your hands together in prayer or simply lay one over the other over your heart in gratitude for today's practice. In gratitude for that divine union that gives us life. In gratitude for this clear and ready vessel, for that energy, that prana to flow through and manifest as creation. Moment by moment by moment, constantly in creation. And give yourself a little bit of gratitude for taking the time for self-care today. You are so worth it, and I'm so proud of you for making it today. Thank you so much for joining me. When you are ready to come out of meditation, please do so slowly. Offer yourself some wiggles and some stretches. I like to warm my hands and place them over my eyes and flutter my eyes open underneath my palms to not shock my eyeballs, I guess, when I open up after meditation. Welcome back. Welcome back, everyone. Hi. So for those of you who are just joining us, hello, my name is Reverend Deborah. This is our Bhakti Bites classes. Bhakti means devotion. So devotion to what? Devotion to self-care. And for quite some time and continuing to do so, we've been working with mudras because mudras are really powerful self-care practices, tools that we can use in the moment, acutely in the moment. If I'm having an anxiety attack out in public, if I'm feeling frustrated with something, if I'm feeling sad, if I'm feeling tired, if I'm feeling sluggish, if I'm feeling right? There are mudras for all. There are mudras for all and more. So this one, my friends, you're very welcome, Nikki, right? That's a good one. So this one again is called the Kalaka Mudra. Feel free to correct my Sanskrit if you have a better source for pronunciation. I do appreciate the reference. Kilaka mudra, and is done like so. Bring the pointer and thumb together on both hands. Extend the rest of the fingers, fan them out. Then bring the wrists, crossing the wrists, and gently, no more than the weight of a nickel. The pressure, the amount of pressure here is no more than the weight of a nickel. We are making connection with our intention, not creating tension. And then bring the pads of the pinky fingers together, keeping the pinky fingers upright as best as you can. This is a bit of a complicated one, so if you can't get it perfectly, don't worry about that. The intention is where the power is at. So if you can get close to this like this, great. If you can't get your fingers like that, try as close as you can get. If you can cross them, if you can do that, whatever works for you, as close as you can get to this mudra, you're going to get the benefit from it. How do you, what do you mean? Benefit? Mudra benefit? I'm holding my hands in a position. Mudras work by redirecting the energy channels in the body. The energy channels in our body are well documented, well researched by Eastern medicine, and we've got lots of documents and things like that and references for it. Feel free to look them up. It's really, really, really amazing work. This mudra or mudras, again, work by redirecting those energy channels in the body and affect the energy body, which also affects and regulates the physical body, the emotional body, the mental body. Does it matter which hand crosses which in front? No, it does not have it. There's no preference either way. So feel free to do whichever one is comfortable for you. And remember, we hold our mudras with intention, not tension. So no more than the weight of a nickel when you bring your pointer and thumb together. No more than the weight of a nickel when you bring your wrists together. No more than the weight of a nickel when we barely touch those fingertips together. Yay! Congratulations. Good job. This is called the Kilaka Mudra, and this represents the divine, the union of the divine masculine and feminine. It balances the water element in the body. The word Kilaka translates to bond. This is the mudra for union. It's why we're doing it this week. Many of us are going to be experiencing union either with other or with self. So this mudra also soothes fears and anxieties around intimacy. So if you find yourself with maybe previous trauma or some stories and whatnot around intimacy that are creating barriers for you in the present moment, the present day, feel free to use this mudra. Hey, thanks, Todd. Hey, Mr. Marsh, how are you? So it also generates a feeling of emotional safety. This tonifies the kidney, the bladder, and the reproductive organs as well. So This is a really good one for this week. Again, represents the union of the divine feminine and masculine, the union of duality. Bringing, just like we inhale and exhale, right? The union of the inhale and exhale is what gives breath to life. Hey, Corey, we're doing the Kalaka Mudra. I'll go one more time. Okay. Both hands, pointer and thumb together, no more than the weight of a nickel. Cross your wrists over, no more than the weight of a nickel. Touch the pads of your pinky fingers together, no more than the weight of a nickel. And hold these gently at your heart. I do like to rest the mudra gently on my heart, allowing it to rise and fall with my inhale and exhale. Again, the meditation today was just witnessing that union of inhale and exhale, witnessing the union of breath, the exchange of that inhale and exhale that gives us life. That micro macro version. We think of these things like the divine masculine, divine feminine as these big, unreachable, extended, right? ideas, but they are represented here within us, in our very being, in our very breath, in every moment. They are not so far away. Your divinity is not so far away. Hey, Todd. Thanks. So take this mudra with you. Enjoy this mudra this week. And are you guys ready? Are you guys ready? I'm so excited. I am almost done with it. I was almost done last night. I am a little bit closer, even closer to being almost done today. As soon as I finish this workshop, I am going to put it out. I'm going to announce it here on TikTok. I'm going to announce it on YouTube. I'm going to put it on my website. Okay. It will be, this is a self-paced mini workshop. It's called Conscious Connection. I've been wanting to put this out specifically because Valentine's Day is happening this week. It is a workshop to teach tantric partner breathing. So it's a very powerful practice you can do with both an intimate or romantic partner, and you can also do it with a platonic partner. The workshop outlines all of the pieces around it, around kind of considerations beforehand, how to things to think about or talk about with your partner before you move into this, exactly how the practice works and how to do it differently for romantic or platonic partners. And then there is also a downloadable reflection prompts for after the practice, as well as suggestions for other practices to accompany it. I've had a lot of fun putting this workshop together. I'm almost done. Really, I just need to do the voiceover part so that you guys aren't having to read each slide by yourself. But that will go out today. I'm trying to get it done as quick as possible so that it can be available to you guys as soon ASAP before Valentine's Day. For those of you who were with us yesterday for the weekly peekly, you know that the astrology for this week is a little bit tumultuous, especially later in this week. So beware of that. And again, I highly like the potential energy this weekend. Well, not even this weekend, starting tomorrow, 13th, 14th, 15th, and 16th are potentially tumultuous. But when things like that happen astrologically, it is almost always an indication for that there's opportunity for growth, right? When things come to us like that, when challenges come to us, it's either an opportunity, well, it's almost always an opportunity for growth. You can always find some growth in the way that you manage the challenges in life. So there's that energy happening later this week. And this practice, this tantric partner breathing practice, is such a powerful way to connect with, to bring about that divine union, to experience that divine union, and to move, to bring energy bodies, your and someone else's energy body into union, into alignment. So just give me a follow. The other ways, so there's a couple of ways you can get notified about the workshop, okay? Give me a follow, look for the content. TikTok doesn't share my content. Mindfulness is apparently very dangerous. So you'll have to come check. I will message every one of my subscribers privately, and I am sending you guys a discount code to get a discount on this workshop because you are subscribers here on TikTok. If you subscribe now, I will do that when I put it out later today. I'm going to email message everybody who is a subscriber. So you can do that now, or you can do it later. Just don't miss out. The workshop is going to be $69 because I'm cheeky and it's Valentine's Day and it's all about intimacy. So, other pieces of that. I guess that's it. I'm just so excited about it. I want to keep talking to you guys about it, but I'm also really bad at keeping things like keeping all the details of the workshop in the workshop instead of just like telling you everything. Mr. Marsh, do I have workshops for single people? Yes, definitely. This is actually the only one that I do for couples. And this is a practice that can be translated to a solo practice. The workshop itself is for doing this practice with someone else. If you wanted to do the practice on your own, you can still learn it through the workshop. And again, doing the practice simply without the partner there in front of you. But feel free to send me a message. Jen, welcome, welcome, welcome. Jen's going to get her discount on this workshop. So I'm going to put that out for sale as soon as possible today. Hi, dog. For those of you who are already members at the Kaya Sangha, you will receive this workshop for free. So please don't go buy it unless you just want to be awesome and generous. You will receive this workshop for free. Those of you who are members in the Kaya Sangha, you will get a message about it with a link to make sure you get all of that. When you subscribe here on TikTok, you get a free month. This is what I was telling everybody last night. Okay, you're gonna laugh at me because it's kind of silly, but it's just what I do. I try to pack as much value into the Kaya Sangha membership as possible. So that membership over there includes twice weekly group coaching, a weekly private in-house practice session on top of all the live classes, discounts on all my private sessions, and complete access to every single workshop I put on, regardless of how much it costs externally. You guys get access to all of them for free as members over there. So if you subscribe here on TikTok, I give you a code for a free month at the Kaya Sangha. Why? Because I'd rather you go in and experience it and decide for yourself if it's something that you want to stay with or not, and then be free to come and go as you please, right? That said, I realize I'm shooting myself in the foot, right? That said, if you subscribe here on TikTok, which is $7.99, you get a free month membership over at the Kaya Sangha, which is $77 a month. If you do that this month, you get free access to that $69 workshop. So you don't pay the membership, you don't pay the workshop, all you pay is $79.99 for a month worth of membership and the workshop. But that is all in the spirit of allowing you to experience the full capacity of what we offer over there. And then allowing you to decide fully informed whether you want to stay or not. Because there will be continuing workshops and there will always be more things that I add. I always add more things. Yeah. So remember that code does not expire either. So if you get the code, if you subscribe and you don't want to do this workshop, you want to wait until next month or the month after when I do my 8-week full chakra workshop. I talk about the entire energy system, how the chakras relate to each other, how to adjust, balance, ground, protect, clear that energy, and offer a absurd amount of tools to do that. So that's a big workshop that's coming out later this year. Again, I will announce that. If you guys are curious about when I'm having classes or when workshops and special events are coming out, there is always a schedule posted at the top of my content on TikTok and on YouTube, and on my website. But I'm in the middle of a platform change again. So please pardon the mess. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. I had somebody tell me last night after the live last night where, for subscribers, you guys also get a Friday night astrology live where we dive into your natal chart. And then I do Sunday weekly peekly. That was what I mentioned earlier, where we talk about the astrology for the week. But I had somebody last night, a fellow astrologer, who messaged me privately and said, I definitely need to be charging far more for what I do. So get in now while I'm not doing that. I don't know. I am not one who likes to be a top dollar coach or reverend. You know what I mean? Like this, the reason this is a spiritual practice for me. I show up for it as a spiritual practice, as a practice of service. Is it important that there is an exchange? Yes, because it is everything I do. This is the work that I do between the classes and the workshops, and coaching and private services and group stuff and whatnot. This is all of my time. And so it's important to have an exchange for that. But I don't want that exchange to feel like it's a barrier to you receiving the services you really feel like you need. So that said, I am always flexible. If you want to be part of the Kaya Sangha, but 77 a month doesn't work for you and you really would like to be a sustainable long-term member, send me a message and let's talk about it. I would rather you be able to stay on long term than to get 1 month in and then be bummed out and left out in the cold because you can't pay the full price. It's not about nickel and diming. That's why I put everything pretty much free inside of the Sangha once you're in there. Dan, I think there's places for that. Play pretend. Aren't we all kind of playing pretend though? Creating our realities based on our perceptions and our biases, based on our little subjective experience, little bubbles, and believing that it is the ultimate end all be all of reality and that our perception is the only perception and the only correct perception, and that somebody else's perception can't possibly be correct because I don't see it like that. And yet, when we approach each other with curiosity and willingness, suddenly we have the opportunity to learn from each other. Instead of being rigid and inflexible and closing ourselves off to the opportunity to discover something new, we open ourselves up to the opportunity to see the world from an entirely new view, one we will never, ever, ever get unless we actually try to understand what someone else's perspective really looks like, right? Cameron, how to be happy? I think that is a question that we each have to answer for ourselves. What is happiness to you? But I do know that when we put our happiness outside of ourselves, it is always unattainable, or it is always revocable, at least. It is finite. I'll be happy when I have the right job. I'll be happy when I have the right relationship. I'll be happy after I'm 40. I'll be happy when I move to that fancy house on the hill, right? Well, then your happiness does not belong to you. It is in the hands of others. It is the hands of finite material things and a material world. And if you want finite happiness, then there it is. We get lots of it. Rise and fall of happiness. Ooh, this is fun. Now it's not. Oh, this is makes me happy. Now I'm not. That's not really sustainable. That's not really not sustainable. So then how do we find that happiness inside of ourselves? That's the question. But to be or not to be happy, that is the question. Because ultimately, all of us humans share a superpower. That superpower is choice. Thank you guys for the follows, because even in the most difficult of moments, we still have choices. Now, we may not feel like we have choices. We may not like the choices available to us, but we still have choices. And at any moment, I can choose to put down my frustration, my sadness, my fear, my anger, my whatever it is that's not or standing in the way of happiness. I can choose to put it down. Is it always easy to put it down? No. Sometimes I put it down and my body picks it right back up. And I try again to put it down and my body picks it right back up, right? This is how we know with anxiety and PTSD and things that are ingrained in our physical form. I might say to my brain, hey, we're safe, we're okay. And we go out somewhere and my body picks that back up and goes, no. Oh, fuck no, my dog. It's okay, just lay down. Mm-mm. So, where is that happiness inside of yourself? Happiness, think happiness like love and joy exist when we release our attachment to the other things. They're always available to us, right? In fact, I'd even say they're the bread and butter of the universe. Because when you look around, you guys ever seen those magnified images of grass, blades of grass with the big smiling faces looking? Yes, 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 yes. Again, my Sanskrit is not the best, but yes. It is everywhere. It is the nature of the universe. And so if we are seeking the nature of the universe, we're probably not going to find it like tucked away in a tiny little corner of the universe, only in this one area. We're going to find it everywhere we look. Happiness, love, joy. It is only when we close our eyes to it. It is only when we guard ourselves away from it, hide from it. The universe is within, not without. Yes, our entire experience of reality is within us. And therefore, we are responsible for that reality. In fact, responsible is the point. Being able to respond rather than react. When we are reactive, we're not experiencing the nature of reality, not in its completeness, not in its authenticity, not through our authenticity. Because fear, attachment, worry, rage, even desire begins to constrict our energy, and that flow of divinity becomes constricted as well. It's hard not fighting with our egos. You know, one of my favorite tools for fighting with ego is something called internal family systems. If you haven't heard of it before, I thought I made that shit up so many years ago. And then I spoke to one of my counselors and I was like, yeah, I'm doing this practice where I recognize that there are different facets of myself. And so as a storyteller and as a theater geek, right, I made characters for them. I've been journaling and writing and drawing and writing these characters for them so that I can then have conversations with them. I can talk to them outside of myself, because I find that sometimes it feels like somebody else kind of takes over, right? That reactive feeling, like your body and your brain just kind of operate for you. And you're like, holy shit, I can't believe that just came out of my mouth. I can't believe I just did that. I can't, like, to exercise our superpower of choice, choosing where to put our awareness, choosing to open ourselves up to happiness or to close ourselves off. To be able to exercise that superpower, we need to be aware that we have it in the first place. And then we need to be aware of those moments where we begin to close off, we begin to turn away. Mindfulness, 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 mindfulness. The exponential power of the simplest practices, like the mudra we practiced earlier. They are the things that allow us to build these relationships with ourselves so that we are not creating, we're not fighting with ourselves. My mother said it once when I was young, not once, many times. She said, if you create an enemy of yourself, if you create a fight within yourself, right? You don't like some part of yourself, you want to get rid of some part of yourself. If you fight with some part of yourself, you will create a battle within that will be the war you wage on yourself your entire life. Do you want to live that way? She just asked me plainly, do you want to live that way? Do you want to live with a war going on inside of you? No, of course not. Well, then you have to learn to make friends even with the parts that feel scary, even with the parts you don't like. And that's been the lifelong journey, right? A Deca. How can we have a career like this? Uh, have the gumption to do it, I guess. Um, I have spent, I'll tell you, I mean, just briefly, I have spent over 20 years in education and professional practice. I've been a reverend for over 10 years now. Um, I have my spiritual practice started when I was young. My first spiritual experience was at the age of 7. And at that time, I decided I wanted to be a nun. I was raised Catholic and decided I wanted to be a nun. And then read the Bible a couple of times through and had a couple of good conversations with the priest of my local church and left the church because a Catholic nun was not my path. And I've tried many times to step off. I've tried many times to just step off of that path, to veer away from that path of practicing mindfulness, of teaching the things that I've learned, of holding space for people, of sharing the understandings I've gained. And it always leads me into the gutter. It always leads me astray. So a couple of years ago, I've been working for myself for probably 13 years now. It's been a long journey, but this last 3 years was really just acceptance and surrender. I'll be honest, I'm broke, but everything I need shows up for me. The more I align myself with my truth, the more I align myself with my purpose and my authenticity, my purpose as I perceive it when I am in my authenticity. Everything I need shows up. This is Ajna. He's a blue healer and a sucker for pets. He's the best dog. He's the best. Yes. Yes. And he used to be camera shy, but I think he's decided that he'd rather have pets while I'm doing lives than not. What you doing, dog? So yeah, it's been a long journey. I'm still in transition. I'm still in that time where I move out of the life I chose before and the things I chose before for my life. Okay, okay. Armpits. And I'm not quite there yet, where I have all the things, right, that I'm still working toward in my life. But I see them on the horizon. And I see every day how God, source, spirit, not only shows up for me, but breathes life through me. Nice try. You almost dandered my tea. I used to really fight for manifestation, right? I used to really push hard for manifestation. I used to think that if I focused all of my attention on manifesting, that that is how I would make it happen. Push hard, hard, hard. And the thing is those things never really manifested. The more I tried for my spirituality, and the more I tried for my abundance, and the more I fought for my happiness, the further and further and further away it floated. Aww. Yeah, I named him Ajna because he has Ajna is the Sanskrit name for the third eye chakra, and blue healers have the little star on the top. That, and I think I need to get him like a PTSD training of some sort, support dog kind of training, because he's extremely intuitive and already does the things. I have PTSD and such things, and already does the things I need. So even as a puppy, he followed me around. Even as a puppy, he tilted his, you know what I mean? Like they're so smart. It's not ball time though. However, it is time. Let me see. Is there a way to walk this path and make it a career without being a nun? So I am not a nun, right? I am a reverend. I've been a reverend for 10 years. I'm a non-denominational reverend, which means I studied multiple different religions, and practice within those as well. But yes, you can take this path without specifically becoming a nun or a reverend or a priest or anything like that, or going to seminary school and things. I say, if you feel called, do what you feel called to do. Follow that authenticity, that authentic spark that, when you ask yourself, when you close, could be, if I could do anything in the world, what is it that brings light to my heart? What is it that makes my lungs feel like there's more space for breath, right? What is it that inspires me? And follow that. Remember, when we're manifesting, as I was saying a moment ago, we don't just jump to the thing that we wanted. We don't just jump to the thing that we want to be. We get there in tiny steps. We get there in tiny little increments. So if this, right, is the career you want, then take tiny little steps that way. And yeah, some of it are bigger steps like certifications or classes or practice or, what have you. Those are bigger steps. I'm talking about the tiny little steps, like embodying the practices that you would like to teach and share. So if you want to be a coach, start coaching yourself. Go look up the tools, use those tools on yourself. Again, if you want to learn energy healing, right? I'm an energy healer as well. I have been so since I was a child. Again, I inherited that from my mother and my family lineage. So I've been practicing that for a long time. I practiced that on myself until I was mid to late 20s before I practiced on anybody else. So whatever it is that you would like to share with the world, I invite you to take that practice on as your own first. Embodies, it is intimately understood. It's not just knowledge you have from a book or from reading it or from hearing somebody else say it, but it is an understanding that you've integrated into your being, because there is a difference. There's a difference than from knowing that self-love is important and actually experiencing the gravity of really loving yourself, right? Rib, staying in the moment finds us inspiration. Yeah. Yeah. When we approach each moment with curiosity and willingness and presence and awareness, the amount of inspiration and opportunity and sparkles that are available to us are absurd. I understand after integrating my practices, understanding my practices. Now I understand why, a very spiritually integrated person has that light in their eyes, has that spark in their eyes. No, sorry, Slinger. Not at the moment. I don't follow celebrities, so to speak. They're part of the big charade that we. Oh, not on cam, not on camera, not on camera. You'll have to go off of that. Yeah. Yankee sure. I don't give them much of my time to the charade. You're very welcome, Decca. So do I still have the Reiki jar? Thank you so much, Nikki. I do have the Reiki jar. I have been, every time I sit down, I keep forgetting about the Reiki jar. So for those of you who would like to be included, I offer energy work every evening during my evening meditations. It is a general send, and I have an amazing Reiki jar, or my energy work jar right here. If you would like to be included in this jar, please send me a message directly. Don't put your name here in the feed. I won't remember, and I don't write them down on the live. So if you would like to be included in the jar and receive nightly energy with the rest of them, let me know. I do private energy sessions as well. Yeah, so this is kind of a general send, and if you have specific things you need it sent for, let me know. We can also do private sessions. If you guys would like to work directly with me, you can find all of my services over at movewithchange.com. And if you have any questions about any of my services, feel free to send me a message either here on TikTok, over on YouTube. If you don't follow me yet on YouTube, please go follow me on YouTube so that I can cultivate that channel too. Remember that when you subscribe here on TikTok, you get the subscriber only natal chart astrology live on Friday nights, and you get a code for a free month at our mindfulness community, our online mindfulness community called Kaya Sangha. And speaking of the light in enlightened people's eyes, there is a quote that inspires the Sangha, inspires the mindfulness community that we are cultivating. It's a quote by Thich Nhat Hanh. And Thich Nhat Hanh is one of those teachers that I feel like I could always hear the light in his voice. I could see the joy in his eyes. If you haven't listened to his work, please go listen to his work. But he says that the next coming of the Buddha or the enlightened one is unlikely to be a single person, but instead a Sangha, a community of people practicing mindfulness together. That is the times that we are moving into. That is the energy that we are moving through. It is no longer the practice of seeking some guru outside of ourselves to bring us, lead us towards our divinity. It is recognizing that that very guiding light already exists within us. That divinity already is guiding us forward in every single moment. We just have to recognize it. So my friends, if you are members of the Kaya Sangha, our practice session happens now. So I've got to jump off here. I'm going to jump off the live. And I will send out the notification for class. This is our practice session. So any mindfulness tool that you want to practice more in depth, if you want to practice the mudra a little bit more in depth that we are working with this week, again, that's the Kalaka mudra and is done like so. If you need the replay for Bhakti Bites, that it is available on YouTube at Move with Change. Again, please go follow me on YouTube. He knows we're getting ready to close here, so he wants to play ball. If you have any questions, any concerns, remember that when you send me a message, remember when you sign up here, you get that free month over at the Kea Sangha. And watch out for my workshop that I'm putting out. It's a workshop on conscious connection, teaching a tantric partner breathing practice so that you guys can enjoy deeper levels of that divine union on Valentine's Day or before or after or whenever the hell you want to use it. If you are a member at the Kea Sangha, that workshop is completely free to you. For everyone else, it is $69, and because I'm cheeky and it's Valentine's Day, and will be available today. I will put out notifications when that's available. If you are a subscriber on TikTok, I will directly message all of my subscribers on TikTok and send you guys a discount code for that workshop 2. That's it. I love you guys. I'm gonna go. We're gonna go into our practice session. I have coaching afterwards. I'm gonna work on this workshop, and then I'm gonna make an announcement when it's ready to go. Thank you guys for the gifts. Thank you guys for the follows and the likes. I love you all so much. Stick around for more shenanigans. We go live again Wednesday morning. Okay. I love you, my friends.